Andrew Colby, WOUB. Can you guys just talk about what it feels like to be back at home for the first time this season?
It feels great. I mean, we got to win, so it's awesome. But I think we came back and fought hard and just pulled it out, so it feels great.
Yeah, playing at home, I mean, it's always a home advantage, and we definitely had great energy, and today was just a good day.
Jaya Seth, WOUB, Jaya Cassidy, thank you guys so much for your time. We kind of saw a difference in first quarter and the second quarter in terms of your guys' scoring. Was there kind of a message that Coach Boldon was telling you guys in between that break, and what was it that kind of led you guys to go on that run to get that halftime lead?
He's always talked about, like, he's always mentions turnovers and everything during halftime, so it really gets into our heads, and we just, fight like we know how and play like we know how and just pull it out. So.
Yeah, honestly, I think we got a good flow of synergy with people who were in, and we just had good chemistry. And, I mean, we already look like we play really good together, so it's just going to be a good season to see us really grow.
Yep.
Charlie Fennell from the Post. Jay, you had an outstanding game in your first game back. How did it feel to be back out there?
I mean, it felt good. It felt great. I mean, that's all I can say. It felt really good.
Logan, I'm not going to say.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
Logan House at the Post. Cassie didn't show up exactly in the box score, but you were everywhere defensively. Dayton is a team that likes to go hard in the paint. How did you go about slowing that down on the defensive end?
They really harped about being in front and taking the high post away and just keeping your feet in front, so I tried to do that as best I could. Just rebounding. I mean, rebounding's always been my thing. I mean, it might have not shown, but I try and just keeping my feet in front and not letting them score. I mean, from the beginning we knew there was big girls. We knew that they were going to be good and finish around the rim, and I tried to stop that. So.
Yep.
Yeah, Jay, you seem to be getting downhill a lot, being aggressive. Is that part of how you like to play?
That's how I love to play, quick. I mean, before they set up, just getting in, passing it out, and we just have a lot of talent this year. So getting it down the floor, I mean, it just opens up a lot.
Yeah.
Dayton was coming back a little bit. They cut the lead to single digits there, in the final few minutes. What was kind of just going through your heads and just trying to close out the game?
I mean, honestly, like, sometimes, we kind of went lackadaisical, but, I mean, I knew we were going to pull it together. But, I mean, we're very young, so this is like the second game of the season. And like I said before, we just got to be disciplined, and that's only going to grow.
Yeah, I think last game where we were down or up by a lot and, it was a tough loss, but I think that really taught us that we need to stay focused and just focus to the end of the game. Like, even though we're tired, we have to pull it out because we know, and that's something Coach Bob harped about that he was big on. So.
Jay, you came off the bench tonight and you ended up leading the team in points with 18. What was your approach like coming off of the bench and into the game?
I mean, honestly, I just, wanted the game to come to me. And I'm always looking to make my teammates better, get open shots. Because once everybody else is into it offensively, then everybody wants to get the boards. Everybody wants to box out and do the other things. So just making sure that everybody else's energy is good before my energy is good, just really got the ball rolling.
All right, back here.
Josh Hunter, WOUB. What are some things you guys didn't practice this week after coming off the tough loss to App State?
Just really focusing on not turning the ball over, rebounding. Gosh, rebounding was a big one. Just hitting our loopers, divers, sliders, everything. Honestly,
Yeah.
We worked on a little bit of everything. So.
Yeah, definitely just coming back. I mean, I knew they were going to press us, but, I mean, you saw it didn't even work. So.
You briefly mentioned limiting turnovers, obviously 33 in the first game, only 18 in this one. How did you go about controlling the ball a little bit better in this game?
I mean, coming to the ball, grabbing the ball, just passing to our teammates. Like, we would just be lackadaisical and pass to whoever, honestly, last game. But just getting it to our teammates and just playing together.
Andrew Colby, WOUB. Can you talk a little bit about your team's defensive performance? You guys were pretty aggressive, getting in the way of Dayton's offense all night.
Yeah, I thought we did a great job defensively. I thought collectively, this group's been challenged to play App State a certain way than to play Dayton a very different way based on Dayton's personnel. And I was, through three quarters, I was really impressed with the way that we guarded and what those young ladies were able to do. And I think it's encouraging. You know, obviously it's really early. There's a lot to go on between now and conference play and so on, but I thought it's a really good start.
Coach Jaya Seth and WUB, first and foremost, thank you so much for your time tonight. Congrats on the win. Talk about Maddie Mace. You really had a big game tonight, especially in that first half. Really got you guys going offensively to get that halftime lead. Just your early thoughts on what Maddie's been able to do for you guys early on in the season.
Maddie's been awesome. You know, she's played 2 very good basketball games so far, and 2 very different games. You know, she didn't score the ball a lot. I don't know if she took maybe 3 shots last weekend, but today she's 4 of 8 from the floor and 3 of 5 from the three-point line. But the things that Maddie does, the calm that Maddie brings to the court, you know, she can guard multiple players and does that well, and is a great communicator. Probably the most valuable thing that Maddie does is she plays so hard that she raises the level of expectation of everybody around her. You know, she has a standard that she keeps, and she challenges her teammates to meet that standard. And so far this year they have, and it's been great to have her back.
Dayton is a team that likes to pound the ball inside. They don't really want to be an outside team offensively. I believe they shot 9 threes in this game, in the last game, 21 in this game. How are you able to keep them out on the perimeter where they're more uncomfortable?
Through a lot of teamwork, through working together and understanding a game plan. And you know, I mentioned earlier about the defense early, like the ability of this team to take what they learned in practice and execute it on the floor has been really impressive through 2 games. We got a lot more to learn, but I was really impressed by the way that they, you know, kept the ball out of Perez's hands. You know, she shot 1 shot. That's pretty good. You know, if she would have shot 10, we probably would have lost. So the commitment to keeping the ball out of her hands. But it's not just, I know you guys just talked to Cass, not just Cass keeping it out of her hands, but it's the ball pressure, it's the help side, it's the next person that we subbed in, and we switched some ball screens, and just across the board, you go down, and just a great job of keeping the ball out of her hands.
Hey Coach, Charlie Fidel from the Post. Jaya McClure had a big impact in tonight's win. What does it mean overall for the team to have her back?
A lot. I mean, I think, obviously, yeah, it was nice to have her back. She played well, commanded the game, kept things under control, just did a really nice job of coming back and running the team. And you know, running a team is one of the hardest things to do. You know, making shots, most of our kids will tell you making shots is pretty easy, but running a team is a difficult thing. And having her experience from last year and coming back in a similar system, I thought she did a good job, and I thought she did an excellent job. I mean, she was so excited to play today, and I thought she did a really good job of letting the game come to her and not really forcing things. And that also is more difficult than it seems.
You guys had 13 fast break points tonight. You guys seem to be getting out ahead in transition a handful of times. Is that part of the way you guys like to play?
Yeah, this team's better when they're fast, and we've through the first 2 games and the first 3 quarters of the first 2 games, we've done a really nice job of that. We have to figure out how to be a little bit better down the stretch, and I thought they did a nice job of flipping a switch, because there's a point where you think you have enough points to win. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. But there's a time in the game where you think you have enough points to win, and then the strategy changes. And I thought they did an excellent job. And again, having Jaya makes a big difference. Somebody that understands the game, can handle the basketball, can get us in stuff, a very good communicator. I was really impressed with the way they kind of flipped the switch offensively to take care of the basketball down the stretch and make sure that we were using clock and, you know, just putting yourself in a situation to win the game.
Winning the turnover battle was huge in this game, 18-26 in our favor. What was the approach, both in practice and on the court, about limiting turnovers?
Well, we had 33 a couple days ago. We knew that was too many. And I think we would probably say 18 is probably a smidge too many, but we'll take it. When you start at 33, 18 sounds pretty good. We got to get down to that 12, 15 area, and we will. I thought Dayton made some really good defensive plays. In particular, the charge that Ivy Wolf took on Ken, that was her fourth foul, that was a tremendous rebound by Ken, pushed it down the court, made a good read, and she took a charge, and I think it was the right call. It was just a really good play, and that counts as a turnover too. So you got to try to eliminate some of those plays. But I was happy with the number. I think we can do better, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
Coach, real quick, just towards the end of the game, you mentioned down the stretch a little bit ago. What were you telling your team, just as Dayton was starting to creep back in a little bit? What was kind of going through your mind? What was your message to the team for them to close it out?
Just to be a little bit more focused. There's a natural thought to kind of feel like the game is over, and that's fun for the band to think that, but it's not practical for us to think that. Our job is to stay focused through that whole period and make sure that we do our job. And we had some breakdowns, but I will tell you, it feels a lot better going to practice. We have tomorrow off, but going to practice Saturday morning, a winner, and trying to fix those problems than it does a loser. So, we were able to build a big enough cushion that it was okay, but it's not okay, and it's something that we'll address. And it's a good thing to learn from how to handle being up 20. It's a lot better than trying to figure out how to figure out when you're down 20. So we'll get there.
All right, anybody have one last question?
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming, everyone.
Thank you.